Hello, boxing fans around the world. Thank you for joining me once again here on Talk and Fight for another episode of Boxing News today. And let's just adjust my screen for a brief moment because this one's going to be exciting. You're not going to want to miss the news that made the headlines this weekend regarding our old friend, our old pound-for-pound king, Floyd Mayweather, and what went on after the fight was called off. But before we get to that exciting news, let's start off with a few recaps of some of these shows that we watched on the weekend. Teofimo Lopez did in fact beat Josh Taylor. Josh Taylor said afterwards, best man won. But at the end of the day, what the world is screaming about is the fact that Lopez said he's talking about retiring. Now, if you might recall, he did mention that he was going to try and kill Josh Taylor, and that is, in fact, what the intent of boxers are. They are intended to kill their opponent, to which I don't know if he ever did apologize for that or not, but now he's talking about retirement, and there have been some interesting speculations from various fans and pundits that he has under some mental strain, shall we say, and therefore he needs some time off. Anyway, he did beat Josh Taylor, and Josh Taylor may or may not move up to 147, but we'll have to see. Let's move on because I don't want to really dwell on either Lopez or Taylor. I'm sure they'll be back in the ring sooner or later. Alexa, stop. Sorry about that. You might have heard some music in the background. In the featured bout of the Matchroom event that took place on the weekend over the OVO Arena in Wembley, IBF flyweight champ Sonny Showtime Edwards successfully made his Matchroom boxing debut and scored a unanimous decision victory over Andres Campos, who is now 15-1. So with the win, the champ, Edwards, has made 4 successful title defenses since winning his IBF strap back in 2021. And prior to making his 4th title defense, Edwards is in pursuit of a unification bout with one of the 3 other champs. But when that unification bout never materialized, Edwards chose to face Campos. So we'll see what happens further on down the road, because you never know what's going to happen in this world of boxing and who's going to end up fighting whom. But one of the key names that stood out in among the discussions with respect to Sonny Edwards was, in fact, Bam Rodriguez. So that would be a good fight indeed. So let's see if that happens in the near future. Moving quickly along here, because I know you want to get to hear the good stuff about Floyd Mayweather. You might recall I was talking about Shane Mosley Jr., and that was a co-main presentation. He won, so he's now 20-4, 10 knockouts. He secured the NABO middleweight belt with a 7th round knockout victory over Temple Hills, Massachusetts, Demetrius Big Meech Ballard, who's now 21-2-1 with 13 knockouts. Originally scheduled for 10 rounds, Mosley Jr. controlled the pace of the fight, managing Ballard's awkward style until the ref called the fight at 1 minute 42 seconds of the 7th round. I did what I need to do. We got the knockout. This guy is 21-1. The only person to beat him in the main event was Jaime Munguia. Jaime Munguia. This means I'm on the road to getting that belt. It's strap season. I'm going to be the WBA world champion, he said. So pulling off the upset of the night, Mexico City's Mayal Flores, now 10-1-1, defeated her compatriot, boxing veteran and former 2-division world champ, Mariana Barbie Juarez, who's now 55-13-4. That was an 8-round super bantamweight fight that went the distance, with Flores winning the crowd over with her aggression and relentless pressure that was accompanied with an abundance of punches. I had 2 objectives in fighting Mariana. The first was to win. The second was to show the American public that female boxing can be as exciting or more than male boxing, said Flores. I had a plan going into this fight as well. I was well prepared, and I wanted to make sure I was applying the right pressure, set the pace from the beginning. That's what I did from the beginning of the fight until the end, and I feel that's what gave us the victory today. Opening the broadcast, however, was Rialto's Ricardo Nino Sandoval, 22-2. 22-2, 16 knockouts, who participated in a 10-round flyweight fight that went the distance against Rocco SoCal Kid Santamaro out of LA, also 22-2. Let's have a quick see here if there's anything else. I thought there was another women's fight. If there was, it doesn't seem to be mentioned in this particular article, so I will fly along to the next one. Yes, our good friend Joyce. But more importantly, Zhilei Zhang versus Joyce rematch. Date and venue are set, screams the headline in a story written by Kerry Ferguson over on Box and Social. The two heavyweight fought 6 rounds in April, with underdog Zhang upsetting the odds and forcing the referee to stop the contest in his favor. Joyce had struggled since the first bell with big bang southpaw stance and stiff power, and by the halfway stage, his eye was swollen to the point of being dangerous for him to continue. After apparently considering his options, Joyce activated his contractual rematch clause to run it back with Zhang straight away. A brave move, given how things have played out since April. A brave move, given how things played out on April 1st. Sorry about that. Although there have been no official announcements of this writing, the pair are set to fight on September 2nd at London's OVO Arena in Wembley. Originally reported by ESPN, Zhang has now confirmed the date and venue to Boxing Scene. He will put the WBO interim heavyweight title back on the line, this time with Joyce the challenger rather than the champion. What comes with it is far more important, a mandatory shot at the world title sooner rather than later. Currently held by Alexander Usyk, who has a tentative undisputed plans with Tyson Fury. It will be into next year before the winner of this bout gets a chance to fight for it. For now, Joyce will be focused on righting the wrong and reviving a career that was going full throttle before being derailed with this first loss. There will be a close eye on the weight and appropriate southpaw sparring in camp. Two things many analysts feel let the Brit down in the first fight. Zhang, now 40 years old, will be looking to break Joyce's heart in his hometown once more before making a push for a championship in what will likely be the final chapter of his career. Speaking of heavyweights, let's move along to our good buddy Anthony Joshua. Someone says he's about to destroy him. Anyway, Anthony Joshua is a man in demand at the minute, with several fighters calling for a clash against the former unified heavyweight champion. Tyson Fury was the latest, offering his domestic rival a shot at his WBC belt in September at Wembley. However, AJ and his team aren't prepared to derail their current two-fight plan in the hope the Gypsy King is being genuine. Joshua's promoter, Eddie Hearn, confirmed they're preparing to fight Dillian Whyte on August 12th and then go into a mega fight against Deontay Wilder in December. Negotiations for the Whyte rematch have begun, with Hearn revealing an offer has been sent, but the deal is not close. Although the body snatcher is their preferred opponent, there are other options available. One of those options would be Filip Hrgovic, who is the number 1 ranked heavyweight with the IBF and also happens to be co-promoted by Hearn. From recent comments, it's fair to say that the Croatian would be more than confident going into the bout against Joshua. After AJ's last outing against Jermaine Franklin, which didn't produce the statement knockout many felt that was needed, Hrgovic told Boxing News that he would destroy the Brit. I'll destroy him. I think I'll destroy him. If he comes in this shape, I'll destroy him. So there's some confident words from Filip Hrgovic. Speaking of confident words, let's move along to Edgar Berlanga. He believes he's going to be 1,000% he believes he's going to send 1,000% Canelo Alvarez into retirement when he faces him after his warm-up fight against Jason Quigley that's taking place on June 24th at Madison Square Garden in New York. So a fight against undisputed super middleweight champ Canelo is virtually assured for the highly ranked 26-year-old contender Berlanga, who's 20-0, by the way, 16 knockouts, provided he wins his scheduled 12-rounder against the 32-year-old Irish native Quigley, 20-2. If Berlanga gets through his fight with Quigley with flying colors, we could see him in with Canelo by September. It doesn't appear Canelo will be fighting Dimitri Bivol next because there's reportedly no contract between the management of the Mexican star and Bivol's handlers. With just 3 months to go before September, it's clear Canelo won't be fighting Bivol and is not interested in avenging his loss. Given that the New York native Berlanga has been out of the ring for an entire year since attempting to bite roamer Alexis Angul in June 2022, it's difficult to predict how he'll perform. One fight should have been beat, but anyway. What we know from watching that fight was Berlanga struggled and appeared to lose his cool in that fight because he was getting hit a lot by Angula. Quigley was knocked out in 2 rounds by Demetrius Andrade in 2021. Last April, Quigley returned to the ring and defeated journeyman Gabor Gorbeks by a 10-round points decision. Berlanga will probably need a knockout if Berlanga intends to retire Canelo because he's likely to win if the fight goes the cards. We saw how Bivol barely edged Canelo on the scorecards last year despite schooling him for 12 rounds. Said Berlanga, I'm 1,000%. I feel I'm back. People are going to see on the 24th, I'm back. I'm back to myself. The whole last year, me taking off, I feel like, I was in a stage of depression because I didn't have a trainer. I didn't have no gyms to go to. I know I could beat the best. I know everything is written. For me to beat Canelo and become the first male undisputed world champion to come out of Puerto Rico, that's going to be something amazing. That's something on my mind as well, making history and just being great. Speaking of great, boxing legend Kostya Tszyu says his son, current WBO interim 154 champ Tim Tszyu, will be ready to fight this weekend despite a dog bite on his forearm 3 weeks ago that required 26 stitches. Preparation was good. Kostya Tszyu told Sydney Morning Herald in Australia. The dog bite was more motivated him to 100%. Sometimes these kind of injuries can help with more motivation to have a better fight. Only an Aussie would say that. Of course, Ocampo will target the injury, but Tim will never give him the chance for this. I haven't seen him physically what happened, but at the same time, Tim said everything is all right, and I believe him. He's ready. Tim Tszyu, he's 20-0, 60 knockouts, will face WO number 11, Carlos Ocampo, 35-2, 23 knockouts, by the way, on Sunday at the Gold Coast Convention Center in Queensland, Australia, televised on Foxtel Main Event and KO Sports Pay-Per-View in Australia. Good for them. Well, let's get on with this Floyd Mayweather stuff, shall we? First of all, Floyd Mayweather toyed with and beat down John Gotti III, that's John Gotti III, on Sunday evening before a mass brawl broke out at the Florida Live Arena in Miami. The former pound-for-pound king got more than he bargained for after doing what he wanted to do with Gotti inside the ropes. Mayweather seems to have messed with the wrong guy as Gotti went for the boxing legend as soon as referee Kenny Bayless called off the bout. Moments later, Gotti's team spilled into the ring. Fans then engaged in an atrocious war when entered the squared circle alongside those permitted to be there. The fights continued for some period. Backstage videos were circulated with sickening clips of some being kicked in the head while down. Others showed people being knocked out and weapons being used from arena paraphernalia. Wow. Before the horrific scenes, Mayweather was once again having fun in there. However, that also was construed as humiliation by Gotti. Therefore, a man with his reputation and family history would never be taking something that lightly. After all, Gotti III is the grandson of the infamous figure John Gotti. What was he called? The Teflon Don. The event was labeled "Last Names Matter" in the build-up. They certainly did to Gotti. He had some heavy backup at the venue that wouldn't take any Floyd shenanigans lying down. But the fact that what looked like thousands of fans took it upon themselves to beat the living daylights out of each other, including women, Mayweather needs to rethink his exhibition strategy moving forward. The event was dedicated to the loving memory of Market Kitchi Larizzi, Mayweather's longtime assistant who passed away in April. Videos of incidents on social media make for tasteless viewing, as some people took bad beatings and even women stomped on heads with heels. Several celebrities were caught up in the mayhem. Some even got accused of being involved in the rumbles. Police reports on arrests and injuries are yet to be released in the hours after an unbelievable and the shocking scenes in Sunrise, Miami. Whew. Floyd Mayweather seems to have bitten off more than he can chew with this one. He may have chosen the wrong guy to mess with on his continued heist tour. In the aftermath, as reported in the Sun over in the UK, John Gotti III has broken his silence on the mass brawl which followed his showdown with Floyd Mayweather. Chaos ensued after referee Kenny Bayless waved off the fight for too much trash talking, with Gotti trying to attack Mayweather against the ropes. I think this is a fan. He says, tempers flared and boxing equivalent to the bench-clearing brawl as Kenny Bayless calls a halt to Floyd Mayweather John Gotti exhibition, also known as Floyd drops him in the end. Laugh my ass off. All right. Mayweather fended off the telegraph punches and rocked the grandson of the notorious New York gangster John Gotti with a right hand before close to 30 people flew into the ring. And a fired-up Gotti took to Instagram to take aim at the boxing icon. Along with an aerial video of the melee, he wrote on his Instagram story, and I quote, "Punk bitch," at Floyd Mayweather, "you my enemy for life." Gotti then put out a backup request to Mayweather's last professional opponent, UFC legend Conor McGregor. He wrote, "At the notorious MMA, we need backup. The referee's decision to stop the fight due to X-rated trash talk was perplexing, to say the least. And Gotti was quick to lament the Bayless' stoppage of their Florida fight." The MMA fighter wrote, "But never put me down or stop me. It was a DQ for no reason." The threats to Mayweather and his squad didn't stop there, with Gotti's sister Nicolette issuing a harrowing threat to boxing legend's daughter. She wrote on her private Instagram at Floyd Mayweather, "Your daughter was ran through by an animal with 12 different baby mamas, you little circus animal. You're all a pack of zoo animals. I swear on my kids, I'm coming for your daughter. It may be 2 years, 3 years from now, but I'm coming." Woo, I'm not going to say that word on air. CUNT. Mayweather's showdown with Gotti was his 7th exhibition since retiring from professional boxing in 2017. And the former five-weight world champ called time on his pro career after extending his perfect 50-0 with a 10th round technical knockout victory over McGregor. Wow. Does it continue? Oh, yes, it does. Floyd Mayweather faced a warning from John Gotti III that he was an enemy for life after tormenting the boxer for 6 rounds. We know that Bayless ended the contest as Mayweather unloaded on Gotti at will. His opponent had no answer to Mayweather's speed, and Bayless reacted accordingly. So maybe a little bit contrary to the simple words that were being exchanged. However, Gotti's team and many fans entered the ring after the conclusion, and the brawl ensued. Sadly, it spilled out into the crowd and resulted in thousands of fans rioting. In the aftermath, Gotti took to social media, as we know, to warn Mayweather. Another member of the Gotti family, reported to be his sister, as we know, also sent a threat to Mayweather's daughter, right, which I just read. and there's nothing new in this story. The target seems to be Yaya Mayweather, who recently got 6-year probation for a stabbing incident. She pled guilty and avoided jail time. Opening this kind of bad blood between two families, which is yet to be resolved after the final bell, can only be a disaster waiting to happen. That's a yes. It's a wonder nobody at the arena in Miami was killed, judging by some of the video clips circulating on social media. Miami police are yet to release any information about the event, despite the whole situation being televised and going viral. So I guess if you just type into your Google, you'll get all the clips you need. Floyd Mayweather didn't get any reaction to the madness himself. Didn't give any reaction to the madness himself. He merely posted a promotional Instagram about visiting his girl collection spot in Las Vegas. He followed that up, or his PR team did, by informing fans about the after party. Miami, the official fight after party is at LIV, stated the post. However, staging any party after scenes like those in Sunrise didn't feel like something to celebrate. This seems to be oft stated. But anyway, Mayweather may have bitten more than he can chew with his last names matter event. Gotti doesn't seem to want to end things on a good note. On what transpired between the ropes, there isn't even an excuse for a rematch, as it was so one-sided in favor of Mayweather. Woo-hoo. Well, boxing fans, there you have it. All the news fit to print today. Thanks for joining me once again, as entertaining as usual in the rings and outside of the rings. Keep those fists flying. Remember to join me at 4 p.m. Eastern Time for Knuckle Up with Mike Gore and Cedric Ben. Remember to like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and we'll see you later on.